Hi, it's Rachel. Sorry for the delay in posting this and the fact that I skipped last week's episode, but I didn't really have many thoughts on episode 8 because it didn't feel like much happened other than Mia learning from Jalan that Nikki was withholding info from her, and then the fact that Russell Tan successfully got that book. So I figured I might as well skip the quick review because it would have been pretty short. As for the delay in getting this up, if you watch other CW shows, I'm sure you've heard about a bunch of shows getting canceled on Thursday, and I was pretty bummed about it, and I kind of needed some time to process that I was losing a lot of shows that are important to me. But anyway, today I'm reviewing Kung Fu Season 2, Episode 9. So, in this episode, Nikki needs a fake replica of the mallet that Russell Tan needs. So, in order to do that, she decides to enlist her mom and dad into this mission. And I was so excited to see Jin and Mei Li getting involved in the hijinks. I thought it was kind of wild that we're, 22 episodes in? And this is the first time they've been involved. But I especially really loved seeing Jin's side of things and learning that he had a background in Chinese art. And he just seemed so happy creating the fake mallet. And it was also nice to see Mei Li get the approval of someone who was so revered in the culinary world, especially given she seems to have been having doubts about her talents in the field earlier this season with her constant downplaying of her accomplishments and also the anxiety she had when she found out she had a competitor. So while the Shens and Henry and Evan are getting prepared for the mission, Mia and Nikki actually have a moment alone. And Mia confronts Nikki about the fact that she didn't tell her what the alchemist had said. I was really surprised that Mia actually confronted Nikki about it. I thought she was just gonna let these angry feelings fester for, a significantly longer time before she actually confronted her, and that the confrontation would be a lot more intense and unfriendly, I guess you could say. But I am so happy that she confronted Nikki because, I get that Nikki doesn't really know how to approach the topic, but, this is about Mia's life. She deserves to know. And it was, important information, and Nikki just kept postponing telling her. And after that conversation, they seemed to be on the same page, with Nikki apologizing for keeping this from her, and Mia seeming to accept that apology. But then Nikki started to withhold info again. I wanted to scream at the TV out of frustration, because Nikki's like, "You're right, I should have told you," and then, literally 5 minutes later, she's confiding in Ryan about how she's worried that Mia might be dangerous. Talk to Mia about it. Talk to her about what you saw. Talk to her about how you believe she can make different choices, but you're struggling to fight these fears that the alchemist kind of implanted in your head. Just talk to her. You can't reassure her that you trust her and you're gonna be forthright about things, and then be talking about her behind her back. Especially in the house where she is staying with you. How do you not expect this to backfire? Anyway, they end up at this event, this thing with the Enclave. I thought that was kind of fun, seeing our group getting dressed up for, this black tie event. And brief aside, but it was so funny to see Althea and Evan as a fake couple. Between their little moments at this black tie event, and when Evan was building her up post all those failed investor meetings a few episodes ago, I'm itching to see more of their dynamic because they just have a really fun energy. Unsurprisingly, though, back to the mallet switch, things kind of go haywire. So Russell passes the test to join the Enclave, much to the founder's dismay. And, okay, so I hate Russell Tan, But his plan of having his stooges threatening literally every single family of the members to ensure he was able to leave with the mallet, incredible. Like, I have to give him props for that, because it was so bold, and he executed it flawlessly. And this is the exact shit I love to see from villains. Like, I love mastermind villains. But because of this power play, the Enclave founder obviously doesn't like that Russell's done this, and he tries to stop Russell from leaving, which leads Nikki and Henry to reveal themselves before things escalate too much. And of course, when this happens, Russell caught on very quickly to what their plan was, and he grabbed the real mallet from Nikki. So, here's where I'm getting frustrated with the narrative. This is the same issue I had with last season, where it felt like every step of the way Nikki was losing. Like, her biggest win this season was destroying the bell, which was undone by the fact that the Tans made a replica within, 3 episodes. So, she was so close to getting away with this mallet swap, and then it was just undone before the episode even finished. And it reminds me of how last season, it seemed like in the last few episodes, Nikki was going to grab one weapon and keep it from Jalan. Like, I can't be the only person who, when we had that episode with Simon, which I think was episode 12, I thought she was going to convince Simon and get the meteor hammer from him. But no, Jalan showed up, she killed Simon, and she grabbed the meteor hammer while Nikki had to watch him die. Can Nikki please get one win along the way through, the season narrative? Because, she loses at practically every single turn until she manages to successfully beat her enemy in, this final battle in the finale. And yes, it does mean the stakes are really high come finale time, but it just gets to a point where it's so high that it doesn't feel reasonable for her to win. I don't know. I'm just frustrated that we went through this whole process of Jin making a fake, and the victory didn't even last 5 minutes because Russell still left with the real mallet. But of course, as Russell is escaping, Mia spots him and chases after him. So, okay, here's another thing that frustrated me. Since Russell pulled out a gun, why didn't he force Mia to leave with him? He has the bell, he now has the mallet, Mia is the missing piece to enacting his plan. So why would he ever leave it without her? Because like she said, he needs her alive, but he's pointing a gun at her. I don't think she can win against him if he's pointing a gun at her. So why didn't he make her come with him? And then when Ryan showed up, why wasn't he just come with me or I'm gonna shoot Ryan? I don't know, it just played out in a way that felt very nonsensical to me. And as for Ryan being shot, I know I'm gonna be an emotional wreck watching him in the hospital next week, but this absolutely did not work as a cliffhanger for me. Because given how much this show continually stresses the importance of family, I know he's going to be fine. There's no universe where I can picture the show existing without his presence. And if the writers did actually have the guts to kill him off, the effect on all the other characters would be enormous. And it would make the show a completely 180 version of itself. So I'm confident he's going to make it through. And I'm confident next week's episode is going to make me cry my eyes out. But it doesn't make sense to try to treat it as a cliffhanger. At least not to me. On to the final scene of the episode. I'm bummed that Jalan is trying to turn Mia against Nikki. I do think Jalan genuinely believes that Nikki's going to hold Ryan getting shot against Mia, given how her dynamic with Pei Ling was, but it really sucked to see her feeding that narrative to Mia. We already know Mia doesn't feel like she fits in with the Shens, and, she grew up very isolated because all she had was her mom. And since Nikki won't talk to her about the prophecy, it feels like Nikki doesn't trust her already, so now that's adding to the fact that Ryan got shot, and it's exacerbating everything. But I mean, Nikki's literally the most forgiving and understanding person, and I feel like Jalan has to understand that on some level, given how much they've been, like, orbiting around each other the past season and a half. But yeah, this is about to be messy, and it's primarily because Nikki was too scared to, like, properly communicate with Mia. But yeah, I think that's about it for my extremely jumbled thoughts. I feel like this was significantly more incoherent than usual. Again, apologies for skipping last week, but it probably won't happen again since we're down to the last 4 episodes of the season for Kung Fu. But yeah, if you have any thoughts that you'd like to share on the episode, please leave a comment. I'd like to continue talking about it. And I'll see you guys for episode 10 next week. Bye.